We have climate change to talk about. Folks, it's a huge problem. It's very serious, you know. No one wants to see dying polar bears. No one wants to see the melting ice caps. I mean, some people do, I guess, but I don't personally.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
But how is Massachusetts dealing with it? The truth is, we're actually behind on our climate goals. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have them self-imposed and have the worst case scenario be the people around you being like, hey, jackass, you didn't meet your goal.
Fair enough. So we talked to Jamie. She's the social media director for Extinction Rebellion Boston. They use nonviolent civil disobedience to push a climate-friendly agenda. They do the controversial things like truck stops. When they block the road to protest climate change, and a trucker can't get to work. And they played basketball at the State House with Maura Healey there to show like, oh, she's playing games with the climate, so we're going to play games in the State House type shit. But yeah, this is what she said in the interview.
The short story is in 2008, Massachusetts passed the Global Warming Solutions Act that essentially laid out a plan of action to address climate change. 2008, so long ago. Essentially, the state did nothing. Eventually, the Conservation Law Foundation sued Massachusetts because Massachusetts still didn't have a plan and time was running out. The timing that was put in place by the Global Warming Solutions Act was 2030. We are nowhere near approaching solution that will have us meet our legally mandated goals by 2030. And it's going to be really exciting to see how does the state publicly address that kind of failure, and that kind of failure not only on behalf of the state, but on behalf of its citizens who put our trust in our government to make the kind of big scale decisions that are necessary to keep us safe.
So a couple things that are happening right there. This Hanscom airfield is expanding, right? And that has a bunch of private jets going out, and private jets are a very inefficient use of carbon, and they put so much pollution into the globe. So yeah, let's talk about that. So
let's talk about Hanscom. Hanscom Airfield, first of all, is not an isolated problem. There are multiple airfields in Massachusetts that are all pushing for an expansion. The Cape Cod airfield is going through a similar situation. It also isn't being talked about enough. Hanscom, because it's closer to Boston, is much more of a focus for our organization and other Boston-based organizations. Essentially, Hanscom Airfield is already climate disaster, and their current proposal is to add 17 new hangars, which is a massive expansion. It will take up nearly 50 more acres of land. It will add potentially 80 private luxury jets to that airfield. They'll be adding a new aviation fuel storage facility. This one airfield alone will counteract 70% of all solar power in the state of Massachusetts.
So what else is happening in Massachusetts that might hurt our climate?
So first, I want to explain that part of Extinction Rebellion Boston's main messaging, our main campaign for the past 2 years has been a campaign for no new fossil fuel infrastructure. And to explain what that means, it means that we think and are pushing that there's nothing new built to perpetuate fossil fuels in Massachusetts. And so that means no new fossil fuel plants, no new residential or commercial gas connections, don't expand natural gas pipelines, like the Weymouth compressor station is a great example. No new liquefied natural gas production facilities, no new airports, no new jet storage. So that's where we're coming from. Here's some other fossil fuel infrastructure that is under development right now in Massachusetts. Obviously, we have the Hanscom Airfield's development in Bedford, natural gas pipeline, Springfield to Longmeadow natural gas pipeline. This so bad. The recent big scary thing is that Enbridge is expanding the Maple Project pipeline through Massachusetts, which is dangerous and horrifying. There's an LNG expansion to Douglas. Logan International Airport is also expanding. We are lucky in Massachusetts in that we, as a state, are not currently pumping oil out of the ground. The major fossil fuel infrastructure problems that we have are natural gas, airfield expansion, and then just like the implicit support of other fossil fuel infrastructure projects that have to do with other states.
I did read a article the other day that Massachusetts is like putting like like near East Boston, right near the coast. They're putting up like walls on the coast. They're trying to like change some of the development up so it's more like, so they're not all underwater, perhaps. What do you think of that? Do you think that's enough?
Poor East Boston. East Boston has been slammed from all sides for so long in terms of environmental justice and climate justice. And
Mm,
so their kids have a 4 times more likely chance of getting asthma. They have serious health issues that have spread through the community because of the pollution, not only from the airport itself, but from the intense traffic around the airport, from cars idling near the airport. East Boston gets so sick. Then within the past couple of years, a new electrical substation was built in East Boston, which is in a flood zone, which means if it floods, there are risks of explosions. It's right across the street from a playground. It's a nightmare. So when we talk about measures like building flood walls, I do think that that is fine. It's fine to do that because now we've already dug a hole. We might as well keep more water from coming into the hole. But I think East Boston needs to be treated like it is a valuable part of the Boston community and not like it is a nagging problem that we don't really want to solve. So we're going to pretend that because it's a mostly Black and brown community, it doesn't really matter if we don't take care of our neighbors there. You can sign petitions, you can write letters, and that is fine. But this is the time to take to the streets. If people are waiting for the moment of emergency, if people are waiting to feel the urgency of the last gasp of hope, we are in it now. Like, this is the time to let go of your fear of looking like that crazy guy with the God is coming sign on the sidewalk. Like, the time of being afraid of looking crazy is behind us. It is time to like lean in to that little doomsday voice inside of yourself and do it. Write the God is coming sign. Like, join a civil disobedience organization. Find a way to take to the streets. Find a way to make people in power uncomfortable enough that they start to recognize the danger of the situation that we live in every single day. And they live in too. Like, Mara Healy isn't going to be able to get on a spacecraft and escape to Mars. She's also stuck on this planet. It is bananas to me that people in power are willing to live in this delusion that somehow they'll be safe. Like, heads up, baby, the state house is also on Earth. The water will run out there too.
Dang. Oh.
Yeah.
But as you said, the window isn't closed yet. We can still do something. And yeah.
Exactly. And the easiest thing you can do, honestly, is just to talk about climate change. Just
Yeah.
like talk about it with your family and friends. Talk about it until they are uncomfortable and they think that you are a weirdo. That's the best thing anyone can do. And it's so easy just to say, like, climate change not only seems real, but is kind of like pressing. And then just watch what they say. It's super fun. You'll learn things about your loved ones.
Oh, I've already done that. Yes. I've learned many stuff. But